Coming to you live with some very hot and juicy tanks to showcase to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, look at this over here. This is one of the tanks we're talking about today, and this is the quite a crazy looking 10-shot Autoloader over here. Projet Louis. If I remember it correctly, or if I pronounce it correctly. And also, we have JagdPanzer E90 to talk about in today's video over here. And this is how the meaty boy is looking like, JagdPanzer E90. With 650 alpha damage. It is a tier 9 assault tank destroyer. And you can see some weird spaced armor over here. If this is actually a spaced armor acting or working as a spaced armor as well, this could be very annoying for certain ammunition types to penetrate, for example. And I think let's start with this tank right over here. So this is how it looks like, what Wargaming is working on right now. And they released just like 2 days ago, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they released first information about this. It looks pretty, scary. It looks like a buffed up, a beefed up JagdPanzer, if I'm not mistaken. You know, the tier 7 tank destroyer. But we have the first details also over here. It comes with quite a slappy 650 alpha damage gun or 840 with high explosive. And this high explosive is going to be quite usable because it has 90 millimeters of penetration as well. It has 290 with AP, 334 with premium heat, and high explosive, as I said, 90. Shell velocity numbers all across the board is 940, so I think it did have a loader. Yes, it did have a loader. So one of the loader skills to boost your shell velocity on this tank would be quite usable, I would say. So, as expected, quite a longish reload time, 16.2 seconds over here. Aim time, not the fastest either, but not the worst either. Not the worst one either. I've seen 2.8 seconds for this alpha, decent accuracy, and 9 degrees of gun depression, so making this armor, which is 160 millimeters thick in the front, 120 on the sides, and 120 in the rear as well, plus side skirts. It could be very annoying tank to deal with, especially in hull down situations, especially when it is using its 9 degrees of gun depression. So something we have to look out for, of course. It has the 5 degrees left, 5 degrees right gun traverse limits. This is actually very little. It's like on the Polish tank destroyers, turretless tank destroyers like Bliska and those guys. So this is very limiting, of course. Could be even annoying and balancing of the tank, because even the smallest movements, if this tank has very bad hidden stats, let's say the stabilization stats, it could be making your plume very big and make you miss many shots, right? And so something to look out for. Mobility 28-12, moving backwards, 9.1 power to weight ratio. So mobility wise, power to weight is very, very sad. Hull rotation. So mobility definitely is not something you can brag with. Survivability 1.8 thousand hit points, 160 frontal armor, as I said. Plus, if those plates actually are, spaced armor, the heat is going to struggle. It will catch some HE shells, maybe some APCR, It could be the case over here. Camo values very poor, 370 meter view range, and it has 5 crew members. It has commander, radio operator, driver, gunner, and a loader. So it has all different roles represented over here. A JagdPanzer E1, no, not 100, Mizguzi, E90. And once again, this is how the vehicle looks like. And what Wargaming said about this is, it is a assault with excellent frontal armor and somewhat limited mobility. Well, yeah, mobility is limited, but the high 650 alpha plus good penetrations, standard pen 290 in tier 9 AP as well. Having AP and 290 pen, this is somewhat of a special thing over here. So yeah, seems pretty damn strong. But moving on, you guys let me know, please, what you think about that. JagdPanzer E90 in the comment section. Yay or nay, excited or not so excited about that. Next up, let's talk about his potentially one of the memeiest upcoming tanks they have lately released. And what Wargaming is saying is this is the Project Louis, a Tier 9 premium French light tank with a non-traditional layout. It is equipped with 75mm autoloading gun with a 10-shell clip that has a very short interclip reload, 1 second interclip, guys. So you can fire after every 1 second. You can empty your entire clip of 10 in 9 seconds after your first shot. And it has also, on the top of that, it has a relatively short full clip reload time. And it has all those features because, yes, the alpha damage, we can say the alpha damage is not the best either. So here are the first details about this. And if I looked at this tank, it is basically like the perfect middleman between autoloaders and the Czech machine guns we have, because this is as close of a tank to the machine gun feature or gun mechanic as you can get without having the machine gun, Let's take a look at this. So it is a Tier 9 tank with very poor Tier 9 alpha damage, 135. Or 175 with high explosive. It also, for a Tier 9 tank, has very low penetration, 194 with standard. AP premium is the APCR, 236, and high explosive, 38 over here. This is like a Tier 9 AMX 1357, which is also very fast interclip. It's a light tank. You can go in, boom, 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 to your 8 shots or however many it has in the clip, and go away and reload very fast, right? So here you can see it has 10 shells in the magazine, 135 damage, so this is 1350 clip damage potential in 9 seconds after your first shot, and the for the full clip reload time is 15 seconds. If you use ventilation, if you use good crew, if you use food, you can get that even lower as well. So we have to keep in mind with this tank and also with the JagdPanzer 90, E90 over here, we have to keep in mind, guys, that characteristics are not final and things may be very different, when they are finally going to release it, right? But aiming time, 1.4 seconds, pretty giga good aiming time, right? Accuracy for this type of gun, 0.36. Wouldn't make it much more accurate, to be honest with you, because it's so easy to make those type of tanks overpowered. It also has 9 degrees of gun depression over here, 15 degrees of gun elevation, 74 shells in total. So you have 7.5 clips, pretty much. It doesn't have a rounded number for the clip, I guess also for balancing reasons, and it really doesn't matter because many times you're not able to take all 10 shots and you have to go in the reload after firing 4 or 5 or 6 anyway. You can't simply empty every single clip, right? So it really doesn't matter if it is like fully equal number to the clip size or not, so wouldn't worry about that too much. Mobility, it is also very fast, 65 top speed, 20 backwards with 30.6 power to weight ratio. It is also pretty damn impressive, right? Hull rotation speed 50, turret 46. It has 1,400 hit points. Armor, 40, 40, 25. Turret has absolutely no armor, no slope either to talk about over here, but the frontal hull armor 50, 25, and 15. If this upper plate is 50 over here, it could get some troll bounces, honestly. Because the angle is, I would say, steep enough. Concealment 15.9 and 3.72 when shooting. View range 380 meter view range, so not the highest view range. It has 3 crew members as well, commander, gunner, and driver. So someone has to do the loading, someone has to do the radio operating. I guess commander, radio operator, and driver Well, actually, Gunner may be loading as well. Someone is loading. Maybe Commander is loading. Yeah, it could be Commander loading, actually. So this is the Project Louis, guys. A versatile light tank, and the French has all kinds of light tanks. Now, after they introduced this as well, as I said, this basically is like the Tier 9 AMX 1357, right? But 10-shot auto-loading light tank. We had this type of tank back in the days, if you remember the Bulldog, right? The Deck 3 Bulldog over there was also that. And if we go take a look at the French light tanks overall, let's put the chat over here as well. Hello mom, hello dad, right? And let's go into the game. If I would short French light tanks, you can see like we have an absolute abomination, guys. This one, I think I'm gonna make a video about this tank very soon. It is like full abomination, guys. We also have the AMX 1357, right? It has 8 shells in the mag, 1 second reload and 15 a second full clip reload with 90 alpha. Also low penetrations. Then we have the Char MLE with drum magazine that fires 3 shots per click, and you have 2 clips like that or 2 drums like that. Then the French have the autoloaders, then the French have the wheeled vehicles as well. Honestly, the French light tank lines or overall light tanks, they have some very weird cooking action going on over there. But the Project Louis, honestly, I am curious what you think about this one, guys. Let me know in the comment section, and also what you think about the JagdPanzer E90. Weird ones. One is super beefy, hard hitting. One is very lightly armored, very lightly hitting, but 10 shell magazine. That's a nice screenshot, by the way. That is a nice screenshot right over here. Yeah, let me know, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you had fun, and I get you next time with something else. Bye bye. Cheerio.